hope everybody had an awesome week. And today we are going to be talking about patches, okay? So for those of you guys that are new, welcome. I'm Jeanette from Embroidery and Crafts, and welcome to Embroidery Happy Hour, where every Friday I like to talk about a certain topic. I do have the embroidery machine running in the background, so if you cannot hear me clearly, please let me know. The laptop is kind of close to it. I have been embroidering patches all day. And I had a little bit of failures while I was embroidering the patches. So I want to share some of the things that I did. I am going to shut it off though. Hold on. Let me shut it off because I think you guys can hear me a little bit better if I shut it off. So, because I really want to talk to you guys about this topic today. So I have a customer order where I have to do a bunch of shirts, and I also have to do some hats for a landscaping company. And one of the things that they did was when they brought over the shirts and the hats, they actually brought me samples of what the last embroiderer did for them. And I think they kind of liked it, but they just wanted to use me for this time. So let me get the shirt so that you guys can see what it actually looks like. And also I can show you my stitch out of the logo so you can see how that looks. Now with the shirts and the logo, I have absolutely no problem. Everything is working great. This is not mine. I have not started on any of the shirts yet. What I want to show you guys is the sample shirt that the customer provided, and it's Piazza's Landscaping and Contracting. It's my girlfriend's brother who owns this company. He's been in the business for I think like 20 years. He's been running this business, and he's out in Maryland, and he wanted me to do all his shirts. So this is the sample that he bought. Okay, so it's Piazza's Landscaping and Contracting, and this is the sample stitch out. So hopefully you guys can see. All right, so as you can see, came out clear. No problems at all. I like the way it looks. Pretty awesome. So this is ready to go to get on the shirts. Okay, so all I have to do now that I have this completely digitized, test stitched, and I really am happy with how it looks. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to start working on the shirts. Okay, so it's about 21 shirts. So that'll probably take me most of tomorrow to do, along with other orders that I got going on. However, though, I wanted to talk to you guys today about hats because when he gave me his sample hat, I found it pretty interesting on how the sample hat looks. Now, this is the hat. And I wanted to show you guys something. If you notice really quickly looking at it, it looks like a patch. And it really is. It's a patch, all right? One of the things that I noticed right off the bat is that what the digitizer did was that they just took a portion of the logo, which is really this portion right here, which is the little circle with the little trees on it. And all they did was remove all the wording around it and then just stitched out this area, okay? And they just glued it on the hat, okay? Now, the reason why I know that they glued it on the hat is because if you look inside of the hat, you don't see the stitches, okay, from the actual embroiderer, right? So to me, that means that what they did was they actually created a bunch of these little patches, and then what they did was they glued it on the hat, and they took it over to a sewing machine. And if you look inside, see right here, they have the sewing that they did around the patch, okay? Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I think that was pretty smart, okay, actually, because sometimes, the time it takes to hoop each of these hats, it is very time consuming, okay? Because hooping hats is very different from when you're hooping shirts, jackets, sweaters, hoodies, and stuff. Totally different. You need to get a hat driver and your hat hoop, and sometimes it can be really time consuming to hoop a hat. which is why sometimes hats can be pretty expensive and pricey when you go ahead and you ask for folks to embroider them, okay? Now, I have all the equipment and I can do it, but if he was happy with the patches, I was like, I could go ahead and do that. That's not a problem. It would be easy for me to do. And I don't have a problem sewing them, because when I looked at all of the hats that he gave me, these are all Atom hats, and they're very soft. They're very, very soft in the front, okay? I just got to take the paper out. But these are soft, okay? They're not hard structured, right? So these would be very easy to put underneath the sewing machine. So I went ahead and I was thinking, okay, well then, you know what? I'm going to take the easy route too. I'm going to go ahead and create these patches, and then I'm going to sew them on the hat. However, I do want to show you some of the things that I did today that kind of was not very successful. And I want to share that because, you know, not only should we be sharing the success of us embroidering, but also the unsuccessful side as well, because, you know, mistakes are going to happen. And if I make mistakes, it's something that you guys can learn from. So there have been times when I have sometimes used plastic as the stabilizer to go ahead and embroider patches. So as you can see, that's exactly what I did on the first try. All right. So let me tell you how I did this, but I also want to show you how I did the color sort as well. I'm sorry, I'm all tongue-tied today. You can tell I'm a little tired. So anyway, but before we get all into that, I want to show you what I did not like about using the plastic as a stabilizer to create the pouches, okay? Because I thought maybe that would be something that I could do real quick, and that it's something that, you know, would work. But I started to, when I took the patches out of there, I started to look at the quality of the patch. Now, for those of you that have watched me for some time know that I really talk about the quality of your embroidery, right? Because it is really important when you're running a business that when the products that you produce walk out of your shop, it has to be of great quality, because it speaks about you. It speaks about the type of work you do, your skill level. And the last thing you want is for somebody to be walking around with some embroidery and all of a sudden it looks like crap, because what's going to happen is it's not going to be a good look for you and for your business, your side gig, whatever it is that you're trying to do. Okay. So I wanted to, you know, show you guys, and you can see I have like a handful right here of patches. Okay. And I want to take a look at some of them, and I want to tell you why I reject them. Okay. Why I say, nope, this is not going to work. And it's not something that I'm going to use. Okay. Now, the first time that I tried to use the plastic, one of the things that I did was when I looked at this logo, what I did was I removed all the wording and stuff, and I just went ahead and said, I'm going to print this as is, okay? And I'm just going to, well, not print it, embroider it. And then I'm going to just go ahead. I'm going to do 11 of these at this size, and these are the ones that I'm going to use. I did not use twill. I used the plastic, okay? So, you know, just want to let you guys know what's been going on with the plastic with me lately. Now, because I know that the plastic is clear, okay, and I know we're talking about stitches, one of the things that I did was I increased the comp of the inside of the stitch, which is the green area. Now, the reason why I did that is because, remember, these are stitches, right? So you need this to be thick because you don't want to be able to see through it, okay? The problem that I did come across is that I ended up seeing through it, okay? So I don't know if you guys can tell, and I think you guys can, okay, right off the bat, because as I'm holding this up and I'm showing it to you guys, I already see the holes. Do you guys see that? Let me see if I can get a pointer here. Oh, there's no pointer here. Okay. All right, so let me see. Here's a little scissor thing. Now, look at the green area, okay? Do you see that green area? Very, very sloppy. I don't like it. Okay. Now, when you look at it, even when I look at it in the front, I don't like the way it looks. It doesn't look clean to me. It looks like a lot of holes and stuff like that. Now, I'm going to take a hat, one of his hats, and I'm just going to put it on top of it and then show it to you. Now, if you look at it like that, you're really not going to see anything. It looks pretty good. It doesn't look bad, okay? But I know it's there, okay? Me personally, I know it's there. So if I go and I put this against the actual fabric, you really don't see anything, right? Except, I am very, very particular, especially when it comes to my work. Here you go. I got a little steam ripper here. I can tell right up here that there is a little bit of misalignment and stuff like that. Now, I know that he probably won't care, but I do, okay? Because this is going to speak about me. So let me give you a little up close look. See, you really don't see the gaps. Now, if I hold it like this with nothing behind it, do you see all that? You see how you can see that? So to me, I looked at this as this is a fail. This isn't going to work. I'm not happy with it. Okay. So let me look at some more and let me tell you exactly another thing that I did not like. Okay. Look at this one. Okay. Look at this right here. I'm going to put it right by me. See right here? Look at that. That's a hole. So not only do you see all this area right here, that's kind of like clear, kind of, I then didn't like this edging right here. Look at how this one came out. That's a hole right here. See? That's a hole. And, even if I was to take this and put this on here, okay, the hole, to me, you could still see it. See, it's right here. I don't like that. There's just no way that I would it's just not going to happen. I'm going to turn the machine back on because once this stitch is done, I want to show you what it looks like when you use the twill. Okay. Now, okay, it's going back. Now, one thing for sure though, is that I know that sometimes people like to use the plastic, and the reason why they like to use the plastic is because it's cheaper, right? It's something that you're able to pick up at Home Depot. Just get the 4 millimeter, something like that. But the problem that I have with it is that, I don't feel that it really does a really good job with the patches. Unless maybe if you talk to the digitizer and you tell the digitizer that you want to do this using plastic, honestly, I don't agree. I don't know. I think I'm going to stay away from the plastic. I don't like the way it looks. Now, these are the bigger ones because this is one of the things that I did was I increased the size. Now, I want you guys to see these small ones, okay, because I did do it small, okay? This is the actual size of the logo itself, okay? See? It's the actual size, all right? Those that I showed you, I did increase the size. So it could be that when I increase the size, that's when all of the spacing appeared. So that could be one of the reasons. And that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, well, maybe, Jeanette, you shouldn't have gone a little bit bigger. Maybe you should have left well enough alone, right? But the thing is, when I did it this size, and as you can see, you don't really see any kind of holes in here. You really don't. However, though, if you look closer, look at this edge right here. I'll show you. Right here, this edge. Okay? Let me make it look closer. I don't know if you can see, but the closer you look at something, the more it looks a little bit kind of sloppy. It's just, I'm not feeling it. Okay? That's really what it is. Now, I could use this. I could. It's a lot better than what the big ones look like. However, though, when I look at the sample that he gave me, this is really a lot smaller. It's a lot smaller. So I started to look at this and I was thinking, what did they do? Now, I think they added an extra border to it. So that's what I kind of did. The other thing that I did notice though, and it's not that I want to say anything bad about anybody, because everybody does different things, right? Everybody likes to embroider, they have their own style and everything. But when I looked at the hat, and this is the other thing too, you don't know how old this hat is. When I look at this hat, I want you to pay attention to the edging. Okay, it's finished. I want you to pay attention to the edging, okay? I don't know if you notice, but if you notice, there is some kind of fraying that's going on right around here. And I'm going to tell you what this tells me. This tells me that they did not use a hot knife to make the edges of this patch solid. That's what this tells me, okay? So I look at it and I'm like, I don't think they did that. I think they needed to do a hot knife around it. So I'm kind of like, don't, I'm like, all right. So that's the thing that went through my mind. I need to make sure that I do that I put a hot knife. I'm going to use heat and bond in the back. I'm going to make sure that I press it on the hat where I want it to be. And then I'm going to sew it on. Now, I just finished 2 patches. Hold on, I'm pulling it out of the machine right now. And I'm going to show you guys right now. This is on twill. And as you can see right here, right off the bat, this is solid. See the difference? Very, very, very different. It's very, very solid. The only thing that you see is really the edging, okay? If you see any holes in it, that's in the edging, but that's not a big deal. I am more focused on the inside. And if you notice, okay, and this is using twill, if you notice, the stitching looks so much neater to me than if I was to use the plastic. So you best believe I'm going to be using twill for these patches. It costs a little more, but that's okay. I like the solid look. I think it looks really good, and I think the customer is going to be really happy. I'm not going to remove this from the hoop because twill is expensive. So what I plan on doing for the rest of the evening is I will repeat the patches and I will try to squeeze as many of these little patches as I can on this piece of twill because I have to make 11 of them, okay? So, and then I will cut them all out and then I will put the heat and bond and put it on the hat. So when I'm done doing this and I put the heat and bond, I will shoot another video so that you guys can see the rest of the process and stuff. But I do want to show you how you can actually set up the machine to do multiple patches on a frame, okay, using the color sort. So I'm going to put on In-Brilliance right now because I want to show you the steps on how to do that. That's actually how I did it with this, okay? I had them all, I had all the background done first, and then I did all the white and all that kind of stuff. Because what happens is you're going to have a lot of back and forth on the machine. And when you have a lot of back and forth on the machine, then what happens is that you could end up, wasting a lot of time because there's a lot of thread that's cutting because it's going from green, white, green. Then it's going to go green, white, green. I prefer that the machine does all the green, all the white, and then do all the edging and stuff like that. And I'm going to turn on In-Brilliance, and I want to show you guys how I did that. And I'm going to share the screen with you guys. And, oh boy. Okay, so I'm going to also turn on the YouTube on my other computer over here because I want to make sure that I don't lose you guys because I want to show you guys step by step how to do this so that you guys can understand just in case you have an order that's similar to this. All right. I was going to do a video on this, but the video got all jacked up and everything like that. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just do it on the live and I'll show you guys on In-Brilliance so that you guys can see. And this can be a good lesson for everybody. So, yeah. So plastic is all right. But the thing is, it ain't working for me. So especially for this project, I really don't want to add this Just drop something. I really don't want to use the plastic for the patches for this customer because, you know, if it was a patch for me, I wouldn't care, you know, because I would be like, okay, the hat's going to hide it. Nobody's going to know. Nobody's really going to look into it as detail and stuff like that. But it's a customer, right? So the last thing that you want to do is to, you know, like I always say, the last thing is you don't want to put a product out there and then it's going to speak about you. And then next thing you know, your reputation is shot. Okay. So, yeah, so let me go here. What was I gonna do? All right, I was going to turn on the YouTube on here, and then that way I can see exactly what you guys can see. Okay, and then I don't lose you guys because I know there have been times when I have been trying to show you guys how to do something, and I think you guys are watching, and for some reason we just lost each other in there, right? And then you guys are calling me going, oh my God, we can't see or hear you and stuff like that. Okay, I don't have the volume here. All right, cool. All right, good. All right. All right, we're golden now. All right, so now what I'm going to do is, let me do a present. I'm going to share a screen. I want to do a window. There we go. All right, I'm going to share. Okay, guys. All right, so here we are in Embroidery. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start a new screen because I want you guys to see what I see. All right, so and let me see. Can I make this bigger? Let me see. Okay, you guys are okay. You guys can see what I see. All right, hold on. I want to get the file here because I want to show you guys how I did this. All right. Okay, so, and I don't know if you guys can really see. Hold on. I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, hold on a minute because what I want to do is I just want to share the whole screen because I think it's better if I do that so that you guys can really, really see what I am doing here. All right, so give me 1 minute. All right, so we're going to share the screen and I'm going to share the entire screen. And here we go, share. And then I'm going to minimize this and I'm going to open up In-Brilliance because this is what I want you guys to see. And yep. All right, cool. All right. Well, it looks a little bigger. Okay, at least on my end. And yep. And let me see. Do you guys see when I click on the top? I don't think you do. All right. Oh, yeah, you do. Okay, good. All right. We're on a roll now. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm in In-Brilliance and I opened up a new page and I have my hoop up. Okay. Now, one of the things that you want to do is you want to make sure that you have the hoop that's in front of you, the hoop that you're going to use. Okay. The size. So I'm going to go over to In-Brilliance. I'm going to hit settings. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at all my hoop sizes, okay? So I'm going to make believe that I'm going to use my 8x9 mighty hoop, and I'm going to hit okay. And let me make this a little smaller so that you guys can see. This is the actual hoop, okay, that you see on here, all right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open up the file. So I'm going to go in there, and I'm going to look for my customer's design. And here it is. It's Piazza, right? And for some reason, I don't feel that I got the right hoop size, but it does. It says, okay, all right, okay. It says it's there. All right. So as you can see, what I want to do is I want to get rid of the name. I want to get rid of landscaping. I want to get rid of contracting because what I want is that I want to make oh, we're getting commercials and stuff like that. Oh boy, just skip the commercials, guys. Okay, when you see the commercials on there, sorry about that. But you want to get rid of piazzas. You want to get rid of all the words. All I want to do is I want to see this round thing because this is what I want to make the patch. So I'm over here on the right side, and as you can see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all these areas except the circle, and I'm going to hit the delete button, and you see how I got rid of that? And then at the bottom, I'm highlighting that and I'm hitting delete. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to highlight this, and I want this right smack in the middle. Okay. So this is what I want in a patch form. All right. So actually I'm going to change my threads. I want it to be a brother thread. I know it says peppermint, but I'm going to change the color to 507. Okay. And of course, this is not going to, I'm going to change this to a white. Okay. That's what I want. I want the polar white. All right. So here is my patch. Okay. So now what I want to do is as you can see this, when I used these before, right, the edging was pretty thin, right? It was very thin, and I wanted to be a little bit thicker. If you look at the edging that I have put on this one, you're going to notice that the edges is a little thicker. It looks cleaner. It looks a lot better. So how did I do that? So I'm going to show you guys right now. So one of the things that I have is I know they don't call it Merly patches anymore. I know they call it something else. You'll have to go to In-Brilliance.com to get what the new name of this module is. But one of the things that I did was under utility, I want to add a patch edge. And what I do is I select the circle. Now, as you can see, this let's scratch this. This is one way that I tried to do it, but I decided not to use this because it's a Merly patch and it has these little edges on the side. I didn't like that. Okay. So let's scratch that. Okay. So I'm going to remove this patch. I'm going to show you guys another way. This I hit the library, and the library is that little wheel, and I went all the way down to the shapes, picked a circle, and I said, okay. So what I did was I took the circle and I kind of just made it a little bit smaller, and then kept putting it in the circle so that way it was just like right there, right? Okay, so then, okay, let's see if I can remember this here. All right, so one of the things that I did was I clicked on this little fan right here, and I think that's with Stitch Artist 1. So you click on this right here, and then one of the things that I did was I clicked here, and it's like a satin border. So I clicked on here, and it just created a satin border for me. That's how I did it. Now, if you look at it, though, you're going to notice right here, I have my satin border, and then I have like that other border that's right here. I kind of want to have that kind of covered. So what I did was I took the satin border and I just made it a little bit smaller. And then I got out of here and I centered it. And I kept doing that until I knew that I had the perfect fit. And there you go. Now, to change that color, what I did was right here, you took True Orange, and I know I'm going a little fast. So know that this video is going to be out there on the channel. So you can always just rewind, reverse, and everything so that you could catch the steps that I'm doing. Okay. So I'm just going to click here. I'm going to hit, I want my brother thread, and I'm just going to pick the 507 color, the emerald green. There you go. That's how I did that. Okay. So now I want to show you something else, the color sort. Okay. This is just to make one. Let's say that I want to make 5 of these. Okay. How would I go ahead and do that? What I would do is highlight this with the circle. You got to highlight the whole thing. Okay. All right. See how I did that? Now what you're going to do is you're going to right click, you do copy. And then I do paste. Okay. And I'm just going to move. Okay. So I got, let me see. That's ooh, that looks kind of funky there. Okay. Oop, I don't want to move that. There you go. And then I could do a paste again. And then I could just move that here. A paste again. Move it here. So I'm going to stop here, okay? Because here I got 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? And you can see I kind of moved around the border a little bit and stuff, but that's okay. I'll just have to fix it here. There you go. I'm fixing it here just to make it a little bit neater. All right. But let's say this is perfect, right? Okay, and this is how I want it. Now, but the thing is, I want to show you now the stitch simulator. Now, I want you to look at the bar in the front and see how it goes green, white, green, white, green, white, green, white, right? So what's going to happen is this is how it's going to stitch. The machine is going to do a green. It's going to fill it in. Then it's going to do the white, and then it's going to do the satin stitch. Then it's going to go back and do another one green. The machine's going to stop again, do the white, and then do the satin stitch, right? But one of the things that I want to do is I just want to do all the green. So I want to see if I can do a patch this way. So let's see what we can do. Okay, so I'm going to push this all the way back here. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go under utility, and I'm going to select color sort. Let's see what happens. So it says it was reduced by 7 color changes. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click new view. Now, when I click new view, what it does is it opens up a whole other window. See how this was where we were before with Piazza PD, and then here this is Untitled number 2. So this is a brand new view with all of the things. Now, I am going to tell you right off the bat, this did not work oh, no, it did. It worked. Okay. There we go. All right. It is a tree. Okay. But I want to go and look at the simulator right now. And as you notice, look, it's going to do all the green first, then it's going to do the white. So what's going to happen is it's doing all the greens. See how it's stitching with the satin stitches, and then it's going to do all the trees. And that's going to come out. So to me, I kind of like this method and I'm going to tell you something right now. Let's make this a little bit bigger. This does need a little bit of cleanup because if you look right here, you can see like the little edges right there and there. So, I'm just doing this really fast. The one that I went ahead and stitched out is not, let me see if I could do stop sharing here. Where are we? All right, let's remove. Okay, so that's how you can do a lot of patches at the same time with certain colors. However, though, there is something that you guys need to be aware of if you want to do the color sort. Sometimes in certain designs, there is a reason why certain colors have to be stitched out before other colors, okay? Because you could have a design where you have stitches and then you have stitches that have to lay over. And they're another color because they're part of the design. In those situations, I do not recommend doing color sort at all. If you have a very simple design, I say go for it. If you have a design that's pretty complicated, I would not use color sort because what's going to happen is you may not like the outcome of how the design comes out. Let me get some patches and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Hold on. All right, so let's see. Where can we do some color sort and where can I not do color sort? This is something that I can definitely do color sort on. As you can see, it's a very simple logo. There's only 2 colors, okay? The green goes on top of the black. So if you do the color sort on this one, then what you want to make sure is that the black stitches out first, okay? And then the green goes on top, all right? Now, let's see. I want to see if I have some complicated designs here. All right, here we go. Not a good qualification for color sort. And I'm going to tell you why. As you can see, depending on how certain things are digitized, all right? Because sometimes you can have digitizers that what they'll do is they will go ahead and make the whole cat, or they just digitize. Well, they actually did what, because you could kind of see by the back, okay? What they did was they digitized the animal here, and then this space was left for the cue. Okay. But in certain things like this, I would not use color sort for something like this, for the simple fact that, it's not going to look good. You could give it a shot, I mean, I always say try. You don't lose anything from trying. The only thing you're going to lose is maybe some time and some threats. But the thing is, this is really how you learn, right? Because you want to sometimes make the mistakes, just like I just did stitching out these patches. Okay, I don't like the spacing. It's not something that I'm comfortable with. I don't like it. I prefer to have something that's very, very solid to put on the hats. I really like the way this stitches out. I know that twill is very pricey. I got that. And but the thing is, to me, the quality is more important. I think that this I really, I gotta be honest with you, flat out honest with you. This stitch out to me looks so solid. It really truly does. Okay. It looks clearer. This looks clearer. And I am stitching this on top speed. I am stitching, I'm doing this in top speed. This is not slowing down the machine. Okay. I actually slowed down the machine when I was doing these. And I don't like the spacing. I don't like how the trees look. They kind of look kind of funky to me. They kind of look all off. And you could tell that they're kind of off, because when you look at some of the spacing right here, it just looks all raggedy and stuff like that. I don't like it. It's not something that I'm very comfortable with. Now, on the small versions, okay, when I did the small ones, they're a little more decent. Okay, they are. They're a little more decent. They look a little more solid, but I am not happy with this edge. Look, there's a hole right there on the edge. See that? I don't know if you guys see that, but point out right here. See, look, I could put it. I could put my seam ripper right through it. See? Look, there's a hole. There's a hole right there. See it now? I don't like that. I really don't. I mean, it really depends. Some people are okay with it. Some people, can be very picky. I am pretty picky. Okay, especially when I'm asking somebody to pay top dollar, I should be giving them good quality, solid embroidery. Okay, I'm a seasoned embroiderer. I'm not new to the game. I know what good embroidery looks like. I know what it's supposed to look like. Okay, so I'm not doing that. I'm just not, so to me, to me, do I consider this like a time wasted? No, I don't, because this to me is how I learn to get better. Okay. Sometimes you have to try different things to see what works, right? And and look at other people's embroidery and how they do things and stuff like that. Sometimes you could learn from them, or you could even learn what not to do and stuff. I mean, off the bat, I'm not saying that this is bad quality. It really isn't. But looking at the stitches, and I don't like the rough edges right here. I feel like this could be a little bit cleaner, right? So I'm thinking that it could be that they didn't run the hot knife on the edges to seal, which is why it's framed the way it's framed. But I do like the idea that they had about just creating the patch, pressing it on here. And I'm assuming they pressed it. I'm not sure if they pressed it, but I'm assuming that they did. It does feel a little rough and stuff, because when you put heat and bond behind a patch, it does give it some strength. So, but and this is the other thing too, also. Even though to me, I'm kind of like, well, it looks like it's fraying on the side. Some people like that style, and they call it like the distressed style. I don't know if you guys have seen people wear these baseball hats where sometimes it has like a little roughed little ripped on the edges and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes people have that. So it's like, so they may like that. But I feel like with the hats, it needs to be a little clean. So I'm just gonna, you know, I'm gonna seal the edges. I'm gonna put heat and bond on it, and I'm also gonna sew around it. And I think that having this type of um, thick edging around here, it's gonna make it easier to sew it on the hat as well. So, I think this is gonna come out nicely. And like I said, this is a pretty quick stitch. I did not do the color sort on here because this was just me testing it out. But because it came out really good, what I'm doing is I'm just stitching it out one at a time. And then what I'm doing is I'm adjusting the machine so that the next time I stitch out another patch, I'll probably do another one here, then another one here, and then do another one here, another one here, here, here. That way I don't waste this sheet of twill, because I don't want to go ahead and just throw this sheet out, because twill's expensive, guys. Twill is very, very expensive. So whenever you have to use twill for your patches, make sure that you maximize as much as you can. I mean, sometimes I feel like with stabilizer we kind of sometimes waste a little bit, because we have to make sure that it kind of hangs from outside of the hoop, but that's for the stability, right? Because the last thing that you want is for your stabilizer or your fabric to shift in the hoop while it's embroidering. So I understand that that's a necessity. It's not something that you can get away with. You're just going to have to do it. Okay. So I'm okay with that. But knowing that, I don't want to just, stitch one little thing here and then take this whole thing out of the hoop and then throw the whole thing out. I'm going to go ahead. I really like the way it came out. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to keep embroidering as many patches as I possibly can fit in this hoop. And then whatever's left over, I'll probably just then get another sheet and then keep going and embroider as well. So, but I am pretty happy with how this actually came out. I think got a little hang of thread here. Try to get that out. There you go. Oh, need some more. Yeah, but quality is important, guys. It really truly is. It's important. Like I said, when you're doing something for yourself and you see a little oops or something out there, that it's not a big deal. It's for you, right? So it's not a big deal. But when you're doing it for a customer, whoa, that is not the time for you to get sloppy at all. And if it takes you a little extra time, then do what you're supposed to do. Because if not, then trust me, doors open, doors close. Your customers are just not gonna. Reputation means everything. I'm telling you. So yeah. Let's see. And yeah, let me see. I'm looking through some of my work here. No, I think we're good. Okay, so I think I showed you guys what I wanted to show you. Yeah, these are all pretty simple logos that I've worked on in the past and stuff. So also let me talk to you guys a little bit about the threads and stuff, since I'm working on this customer's orders and stuff like that. Sometimes people get a little confused about the weight of thread. Okay, like when should I be using a 60 weight, when should I be using a 40 weight? Okay, well, this is an actual logo where you're using multiple weights. Okay, now through the whole design, everything is 40 weight except for the wording right here. Okay, landscaping and contracting. Okay, you want to be able to read this. You want it to look clear. Okay, so the last thing you want to do is use 40 weight when you're using small fonts. The reason is 40 weight thread is thicker. And if it's thicker and you have very small font, then it's going to be very, very difficult for you to read. When you are using 60 weight thread, I also use a 65/9 needle. Now, someone did mention once in a comment about sharp versus ballpoint. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about that, okay? There is a difference. And you must know it, and you have to make sure you are using the right point needle when you are embroidering, okay? Now you have your ball point, and you have your you have your ball point, and you also have your sharps, okay? Now I want to see if I can draw something to help explain, because a lot of people get confused, okay? So let's talk about the fabric, okay? Now, when we are talking about clothes stretch, right? Like, look, I'm wearing a shirt right now. As you can see, look, there's some give in this fabric. This fabric is stretching, all right? So, one of the things that you don't want to do is use a sharp needle on stretchy fabrics. The reason is because a sharp needle, okay, I'm going to draw this. It's just it's not that the needle looks like this, but the thing is, I want to give you guys a visual of something, okay? A sharp needle is like a point, okay? Think of it like a point, and it cuts. Whatever is in front of it, it's just gonna cut. It's a knife. It's like it's just gonna cut. So if you have some stretchy fabric like this and you are embroidering, the last thing you want to do is use a sharp needle, because the needle is not going to go in between the fibers. What the needle's going to do is it's going to cut whatever's in front of it. So if you have a fiber, it's going to cut it. And what's going to happen is you may not see it when you take the item out of the embroidery machine, and you may think, oh, it came out beautiful. Give it a wash. Give it a wash. Give it a couple of washes, okay? And what's going to happen is you're going to see that the garment is going to have holes in it, okay? And it's not going to look really good, okay? And the reason is because the needle you use cut the fibers of the fabric. Now, I want you guys to take a look at this right here. See how I drew this, and it kind of like has a rounded edge? That's a ballpoint needle. A ballpoint needle's edge, even though when you look at needles, right, sometimes you probably can't tell if something is ball pointed or not. So you got to make sure you read the packaging. What a ballpoint needle does is when you are embroidering on the fabric, if there is a string of fiber in front of it, it's going to go down, and the fabric is going to go around. Okay, it's going to go around. It's not going to cut. It's not going to cut the fabric. It's actually going to go around. So it's going to feed itself between the fibers of the fabric. And then what's going to happen is when you take it out, you didn't cut any fibers. You didn't cut anything. Okay, your fabric is solid, just like your embroidery is solid. Wow, these things really, these show these commercials a lot. What's up with that? Oh my God. Just hit skip, guys. Just hit skip. Okay. So, so that's the difference. Okay. Now, when would you use a ballpoint, and when would you use a sharp needle? I get that question a lot. When you are wearing something, okay, something that you're going to be wearing, something that you're going to be washing, polo shirts, sweaters, jackets, stuff like that. Fabrics that have a give, ballpoint pen, always. If you have a fabric that doesn't stretch at all, okay, like vinyl and a lot of hats, people sometimes, most of the time, you can use a ballpoint if you want, but if you notice, the fabric on a hat doesn't have any give, okay? You can pull on this, and there really is no movement. It's a solid piece, okay? Though a lot of times people use the sharp needles for hats. let's see what else. Twill. If you're making patches, you can use a sharp. Even though I'm gonna be honest, I use a ball. I use a ballpoint. But there are instances where you're gonna use a sharp. There's gonna be instances when you use a ballpoint. If you're not sure of when to use what, highly recommend Google it. Google it. I Google things all the time. Nothing wrong with it. There is a wealth of information out there. All you have to do is just type embroidering, whatever it is, use both. What needle should I use? Okay. And a lot of times you're going to get the answer, and then you can go ahead and you'll know exactly what to do. The other thing that I recommend, let me see if I have it here. I really recommend that folks Google this. If you Google this, Fabrics 101, Stabilizer and Design Guide, what's going to happen is you're going to get this article, okay? I believe this article came from embroiderylibrary.com. This article is very, very handy because it actually tells you about different fabrics and how you can embroider. It talks about the fabric, the stabilizer that you should be using, the type of design that you should be using. Okay, there's a lot of different embroidery designs out there. You got patches, you have regular embroidery, you have the sketch embroidery. Some designs are very dense, some are very light. You need to know what type of design you're using when you're embroidering, and you need to know the fabric, okay? Because you gotta remember, that's the one thing that I always tell people is that there's just so much into this. It's not just hitting that start button. You got to know the formulas, okay? You got to know what fabric works with what stabilizer and with what design. Then you also have to ask yourself, what needle should I be using, okay? Here it will tell you a 7511 sharp, okay, with Adia cloth. I never heard of that cloth. I don't know. Here it has board cloth, 75.9 sharp, burlap, 75.9 sharp, canvas. There you go. 75. I'm sorry. I said 75.9. 75.11 sharp, okay? And it also talks about the type of design and stuff like that. And then when I look in here and it talks about different types of fabric, okay, in some of these, they do tell you to use the ballpoint. So, you got to make sure that you understand that you have that, at least, it's just the basic and stuff. And I'm going to be, I know I threw a lot at you guys today. I know I did because I got this order that I got to do, but I really wanted to share with you guys tonight what I've been doing with the patches. Okay. The shirts I'm not worried about. The shirts are good to go. I mean, I haven't started them yet. They're 21 shirts. I already have 2 machines already prepped with the design. The needles are already set up and everything. All I have to do is just embroider those shirts and I'll be golden. So I'll be working on that tomorrow. But I really did wanted to get these patches done tonight, because I figured that while these patches are done and I can put the heat and bond on it, and then I can go ahead and put the heat and bond and press it and then sew it on the hats. While I'm working on the hats, I can have the machines go ahead and just do the logo and all that kind of stuff. So I just really wanted to share all this with you guys tonight, because I've been working on this order, and the patches, creating the patches on the hat became kind of difficult because I was trying to use the plastic. And I wanted to share that with you guys because, like I said in the beginning, it's great when we share information, when everything works great and everything is, the sun is out, and it's a beautiful day and everything's working the way it's supposed to. But we need to also share some of the things that we find don't work out for us, and why they don't kind of like work out for us and everything like that. That's important that we share that too. And that we even share, how we work through it, so, so it is what it is, Now I have a whole bunch of these. Now, of course, I'll be throwing all of these out because, there's no way I'm going to keep any of these, but I will tell you one of the things that I notice is that as I go through each of these patches, right, I noticed that not one patch is really like the same. I noticed that some of them have their own type of issues, right? Some of them has the spacing in the thread. I saw the hole in the border. I saw a lot of bigger holes in different spots of the patch. Some were at the border, some were at the top, like this one. This one's at the top, as you can see. Is That's very, very sloppy. This is like, no way this would work for me. And then I did have a few here and there where I was like, okay, that's a little decent. But then I did have a lot with the holes. Now I noticed the one with the holes that I show you guys a lot. Those are usually the big ones. Those are the ones where I stretch the design. And it could be that when I stretch the design, that's when I actually created the hole in the design, because I should not have been stretching it. I should have actually left well enough alone and use the size that was actually digitized in. When I look at the ones that I did at the actual size, which is the small one, as you can see, look at the edges right here. You see, this has kind of like a hole. I didn't like that, and I'm like, that doesn't look good. I don't know why that happened, because I didn't adjust the size on these. And then in some, they looked a little decent. Like this one looks a little decent. I don't see anything wrong with the edging or anything like that. This could have been okay. I mean, I know that I do see a couple of fraying that's going on over there, but I could use a hot knife and I can just seal that, and I would be golden on that. So it was kind of like a hit and miss. It was like some of them came out nice, and then some of them came out like bleh. But I really wanted to share that with you guys, because I think that was something that I was just like, bleh, you know. Yeah. So all right, guys. So it is at the hour, and I'm gonna go through the chat and say hi to you guys, answer any questions and stuff like that. And see what's going on with you guys and stuff. So yeah, I was off work today, so I'm a little more energetic today because I actually was off, and I was able to focus on this and do some trial and errors and everything, so I feel a lot better. But yeah, so now let's just go through the chat and let's say hi to everybody and stuff, and then tomorrow morning the plan is to really finalize this project. Tomorrow morning, now that I got all of the digitizing tested, I got the machine set up. Now I know how I'm going to finish up my patches. So tomorrow will be the day that I have it all done, and then what I will do is I'll have it boxed up and ready to ship on Monday, so that way the customer can get it, because landscaping, I think the season for them is going to be starting soon now, because they're going to be starting to do the mulching and all that other good stuff and everything like that. So look at that, all these patches got to go in the garbage. They did not work for me. This does not work. I did all of this in the plastic, so the plastic was just not a good solution for me. So yeah, in the garbage they go, which is okay. It's okay. It is what it is, right? So that's just, you live and you learn. Okay, so I'm gonna go down the chat and say hi to you guys. See what you're doing. Hey, Bob. Bob showed up first, and Bob, I gotta tell you, I was hoping that you would be here tonight, because I know that patches is your thing. So I was like, oh, I know that if I do this, Bob will probably be able to like go, oh, do this or do that or whatever. But I gotta tell you, I am happy with how this came out. I think this looks really good and solid. I think this is gonna be really cool on the hat. I'm pretty happy with it. So yeah, I was able to actually figure it out. So I'm pretty happy with that outcome. That's really gonna come out really, really nice. Hey Iris, how you doing? Hey Shirley. Hey Linda, how are you? Hi Emma. I see Marlene. How are you? I heard you had a great time with my sister last week. Hey Robin. Hey Beth. Baby Giant Services. How you doing? Hey Pearl. Hey Sandy. I see Sandy out there. Judy Bauer. How are you? Let's see. Robin's quilt basket. How you doing, hon? Let's see. I can see that. Oh, yep. Okay. All right. So I see you guys have put oh my goodness. I'm going down to say hi, but I didn't. Let me see what questions you guys have out there. Okay. Question. Are you using 60 weight for the small? Yes, I am. Yes, Marlene. I'm using 60 weight for the yellow. I think it looks a little messy. Yes. I wasn't happy with that either, Iris. I really didn't like it at all. Hey Sandy, how you doing? Did not like it. I can see the holes. I know. But you know what's funny is when you actually put the patch against the hat, you don't really see it that much. But the thing is, I know it's there. And I know that's poor quality, and that's not something that I want to give out and stuff. Iris said, I don't think the plastic holds well with so many stitches. And I think you're right. And it could be that maybe it's the design. I mean, I do know that there are other embroiderers out there that have used the plastic for certain patches, but I just don't think this was the right project for that. And I agree. I don't think it was that great and stuff. Let's see. Yep, definitely can see the gaps. Yep. And yeah, and I was not happy about it. Really wasn't. Tomorrow is your 40th wedding anniversary. Robin, congratulations. That is like so super awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, what are you doing, Robin? Someone asked if you're gonna do anything special. What are you gonna do? And stuff. Beth said, I'm learning a lot about patches from you. Love the design on the twill. Awesome. I'm glad everybody likes the twill. I like it too. I think it looks solid. I really do. I think that it came out really, really solid. I'm super happy with it. And but like I said, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to embroider on the rest of the hoop later tonight because I don't want to waste twill. Twill can get kind of pricey. Really, the two patches are the small, same size on the twill or a size up. They are actually, Marlene, they are the small size. And all I did was I added the satin stitch on the edge. So it makes it a little bit bigger because my thing is, even though I like the size that they have here, I thought it would be nice if they had a more thicker satin stitch around the edge instead of getting all of these things here to get it frayed and stuff like that. So it may be the patches that I created may be a little bit bigger than what is actually on his sample hat, but I think he'll be very happy with it. I think he's going to like the way it came out and stuff like that. And Mello, do you want to say hi to everybody? Come on, Papa. Come say hi. Come say hi. You want to say hi? And so here's Mello, guys, everybody. He's been a good boy. He's been exercising a lot lately. Right, boo-boo? You've been exercising. Yeah. So he's been getting a lot of walks. So my husband right now, he is retired. So now he's been walking him every day. And then on the weekends, I've been walking him. So we're going to lose weight together, right, Papa? We are. I know. I love you too. Okay. All right, guys. So let's see. Do you think that Joann's still might have 12? I'm not sure, Iris. But I have purchased my twill from Statules. That's where I have purchased my twill. I have really never gotten my twill from Joann's. And you know what? Now that you mention that, I'm like, shoot, before they close, maybe I should take another run down there and see if they do have any twill at all. And if they do, maybe it's the time that I buy them out, okay? Because I'm not sure if Hobby Lobby has twill. But I usually order it from Statules, and usually what I'll do is I'll order about like 3 yards, and 3 yards usually lasts me for quite some time because when I get an order for a patch, it's usually for like 1 or 2. The patches of doing like a whole bunch of them is hasn't really been like a big thing, you know, like people, I don't know why. I feel like people don't like patches that much, or they prefer to have the actual thing embroidered on the on the item, right? On the jacket or something like that. But yeah, the orders for patches, I haven't really gotten that many. I've gotten some, but not a lot. So, you know, but I'm thinking that that's a good idea. Um, you might try using a FSL custom underlay on those plastic patches. Also, get some Madeira plastic for patches. It works better. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. And more constant and reliable. Stretches less when you rip them out. I did not know that Madeira had plastic for the patches. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's because I'm using the cheap stuff. That's why it's, you know, and I think you're right. I think that there is some stretch that's happening in the plastic as I'm embroidering, and maybe that's why we're getting all that spacing and stuff like that. But yeah, but I'm gonna look into that. Bob, thanks so much for mentioning that. Um, Hey Jeanette, is the heat and bond you put on the patches the same as the heat and bond? Yes, it is. It is. I just use the regular heat and bond that you guys use for the applique. You know, there's two types. You have the light and you have the strong. Usually I'll just use the light because see, I'm actually gonna sew these on, okay? Just like they did right here, I'm actually gonna sew it. So I'm just gonna put the light. And the reason why I'm doing the light is because I'm gonna iron it on with the light, but it's just to hold the patch in place so that when I put this underneath the sewing machine, I can just go ahead and just sew the edge. And it's really, really simple for me, you know, and stuff. So it's just really to hold the patch in place and stuff. And I'm actually going to use the hat heat press that I got, which I bought and it's been under the table and I haven't even used it. So when the guy said I needed the 10 hats, I was like, oh, perfect opportunity to do that. So I'm pretty excited, and I will make sure to videotape how I finish off these hats when I'm done with the patches and stuff like that. So that way you guys can see how I did the whole process. Um, and what method do you have to press patches on the hat? You could use an iron if you want to. You can. That is another thing that you can do. Remember, these are the soft hats, right? So you can take a little mini iron. I would not recommend taking the iron and pressing right on top of the actual embroidery. Okay. I would take another piece of fabric or Teflon sheet and put it on top. You know, make sure you place this where you want it, put the sheet or the fabric on top, then take the mini iron and then just go ahead and iron it on there, and that way it can be in place. Okay. You also want to make sure that you measure from the bottom of the, you know, from this cup all the way up, so that you know exactly where you're going to place your patch and stuff like that. So yeah. So I'm actually going to try to use the heat press that I bought, because I bought it and I need to use it. Okay. And I have not used it. So yeah, but you could use a mini iron if you want to, Nettie. Or Erica. Hey Mary, I'm wanting a professional embroidery machine. I have a 730 Barina and I'm waiting something for more projects. What do you recommend so far as more needles? There are so many different types. If you're looking for a multi-needle machine, there are a lot of different types out there, Mary, regarding multi-needle machines. There's a lot of different brands also. I have some videos on the channel where I do discuss things that you need to consider when you are buying a multi-needle machine. I don't like spill out brands, okay, and say, you know, that you shouldn't get this or you should get that, because I feel that buying that machine is a very personal decision. Just like if you were to go out and buy a car, you know, a car is to take you from A to B. The embroidery machine is just to embroider as well. But there are a lot of things that there's a lot of different machines with different functions in there. And oh, thanks, Bob. I got your text. So there's a lot of different machines have different types of functionality. They run at different speeds. So it really, it really depends on what it is that works for you. They also have machines that are in different budget areas. Some are very expensive. Some are cheaper. So I really don't like to tell Mary, I'm not one of those that say, hey, you should buy this brand or you should buy the other brand. What I did in the videos where I talked about purchasing flatbeds, embroidery machines, or multi-unit machines is I kind of gave you guys an idea of things you should be thinking about or questions you should be asking so that you can make a better informed decision of when you are purchasing the machine. So I hope that helps. It may not be maybe the answer that you want, because I know that some people just want folks to just come out and say, just buy this. But it's not, you can't do that, because embroidery, this business, it is very big, right? It depends on what it is that you want to do. Do you want to do embroider on hats? And that's what your niche is going to be. Are you going to be embroidering in the hoop projects and selling those? Are you going to be working with small business owners and work on their promotional products like jackets, vests, polo shirts, t-shirts, hats, and stuff like that? You got to ask yourself all those questions. So once you know what it is that you're going to embroider, then you're going to have to ask yourself what type of functionality you want. Then you have to look at your budget and all that kind of stuff. And so in those videos, if you look at them, I do tell you about several things that you should be considering, like support as well. That's a big one, okay? Because you got to remember, it's like, think of buying a car, right? When you buy a car, it's beautiful, right? You got that new car smell. There's not a scratch on it. Everything works great. Everything's under warranty, okay? But what's going to happen to your car after it hit 100,000 miles or after you've been driving it for 10 years, right? What kind of service are you going to get in order for you to really milk that car to its last legs, right? You're going to want to do the same thing with an embroidery machine, okay? And the reason why I say that is because if you're looking at a multi-needle embroidery machine, we're talking big bucks. Okay, we're not talking small change. Okay, we're talking about you going out and probably buying a car. Okay, it's just as expensive as buying a car. So because of that, that's why I say I cannot tell you what brand to buy, but I will tell you what you should be thinking about and asking yourself and getting the answers to certain questions so that when you go and you buy the machine for what you need, you're making the best informed decision for yourself. I always tell embroiderers, I have a lot of friends that are in this business, okay? And we all have different brand machines, and we all love our machines, and we've all purchased these machines for different purposes, okay? And different functionality. So that's just something to think about. Not, I don't consider one brand better than the other. It really depends on what your needs are. Okay, I know I gave you a mouthful, but I just want to make sure that I answer your question and stuff. Hey, Nanny, sorry, I haven't been drinking. Oh my goodness. Hey, Miss Fake, how are you doing? Hey, Deborah, how are you? Plastic and twill together, applique, cut before border. Oh, okay. Hey, Nana, how you doing? Oh, New Jersey's in the house. Hey, Annette. Made a Friday with Jeanette. Hope I don't fall asleep. Oh my goodness. I hope you don't either. Oh, hanging in there. How is your mom doing? My mom is doing a lot better, thank goodness. For a while, for those of you who didn't know, my mom had been in the hospital for some time. She had pneumonia, and we were a little concerned about her lungs. She is back home. She's doing very, very well. She still has some issues with her breathing, but she's fine. She's gonna be just fine. I got a feeling she's gonna outlive all of us. But thanks so much for asking though, Judy. She is doing a whole lot better. She really, really is. Hey Eartha, how you doing? Um, Hey Annette, I wish I had In-Brilliance. Everyone uses it. I have PE11. Play with it, confusing. Maybe I'll break down and go for it. Annette, what I would do is wait till In-Brilliance goes on sale or they have like a coupon code or something like that. Buy the basic one, okay? Just get In-Brilliance Essentials. There's so much that you can actually do with that. And then as time goes on, you can build on it if you need to. That's usually what I did. And this is the thing, if you really think about it, and that you say right now that you have the PE11 and you play with it and you find it confusing and stuff like that. What one of the things that I tell people about embroidery software, because there is a lot of different embroidery software out there as well. And one of the things that I tell them is it's so important that you get embroidery software that you understand, okay? Because I will tell you to purchase software and then not understand it and it's not user friendly, and it's kind of like wasteful, right? Because you're not going to be able to really do much. And not only that, it's going to really kind of put a hamper on how you're going to be able to grow as well. So a lot of times people ask me, do I need embroidery software to embroider? And my answer to that really is absolutely. You kind of really do. Sometimes you can get machines and sometimes they have pre-designs in them. Sometimes they have some fonts that are already loaded. But the problem is, as you get into the business, you're going to be asked to do some custom work. And there are going to be times where you're going to want to expand your embroidery. You're going to want to use other designs. You're going to want to, up your game on the fonts and everything like that. And in order to do that, you're going to have embroidery software. And it's important that you guys go out there, look at the different embroidery softwares that are offered. There are a lot of YouTube videos out there on So What Pro. There's Wilcom is another. I think is it Wilcom or Wilson, something like that. There's another one that's mostly digitizers use that. Then there's the In-Brilliance. I use In-Brilliance because I use Apple products. Okay, well, we don't have Windows machines at home. Okay, the only Windows machine that I had at home was from my job, and there's no more laptop in this house. Okay, so right now we're a complete Apple Mac home, and In-Brilliance is the only one that actually worked with Mac. And I will tell you, I'm very, very happy with it. To me, it's very simple to use. There's a lot of useful videos out there for you to learn how to use it and stuff like that. So, but I just save for it, and then when you see a sale, I say go for it. Okay. Hey Pearl, how you doing? I'm going down. I have to check my software to see if I have a similar feature to this. Well, Sandy, I will tell you this. Okay, I have the complete suite of In-Brilliance. Okay, I have all of it. I have the stitch artist and all that kind of stuff. What one of the things that I recommend that folks do is if you go to inbrilliance.com, okay, and I do have the link in the video description below, and you can read on there, and it does tell you what the modules have, what each of the modules have, and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if color sort came with one of the modules. I'll have to check and see. And then, I know that the patching, the edging of the patching, that is a module that you have to purchase. When I purchased it, it was called Merly. I believe they renamed it to something else. I don't know what the new name is. I'll have to look at that as well. So, yeah. Hey, Marlene, how you doing? Can anyone tell me if Focus Logo is still in business for digitizing? Yes, they are. Faisal is still doing it. As a matter of fact, he is the gentleman that did this for me. Okay, and he still does really good work and stuff. So Fossil is still in business. Yes. Um, hey, hey LaFarn, how are you? How you doing? Hey Marsha, how are you? Let's see, going down. Hey Mary. Um, can you make a chart of the different size needles and what threads? One of the things that I recommend, Mary, is if you Google one of the needle companies, like I use Organ needles and I only use two sizes. I only use 7511. Nope. Scratch that. I use more than that. Okay. For embroidery, though, I use 7511 and I use 65.9. However, I love Organ needles. Those are the brands that I use. But I do have other size needles, but I don't use those needles for embroidering. I use those needles for sewing and my serger. And it's usually like the 79, no, the 9011, or is it the 8011 and the 9014? The 9014 for quilting, the 8011 for sewing. So yeah, but usually, Mary, what I recommend is, if you want to use Organ needles, I would Google Organ needles. They usually do have a chart, and they will show you the different sizes of needles that they have available and what is recommended for. That's the best way to go about that. Okay. Um, And I have P11 Florina, and I've tried John Deere's. I think each different one works different with different brains. It's true. I have trouble figuring out P11. Yeah, and that's the thing too, Marsha. It's like everybody learns differently, right? So it's like that's why I always tell people, go to YouTube. If you're thinking about using a particular embroidery software, go to YouTube, check it out, see if it's user friendly, see if it's something that you feel that you're going to understand, and then make your decision then. Because the thing is, you don't want to spend a lot of money on embroidery software and then all of a sudden you find out that you hate it and you don't use it. That's like a waste of money. Okay, so that is something that I recommend people do. Is there an indicator on the package telling you if it's sharp or ballpoint? I believe there is, Marlene. Let me see. Hold on. I'll find out. Let's take a look. All right. Okay. These are the ones that I use. Okay, this is the 65.9 and the 75.11. I do know that they're ballpoint. I don't know if these B's mean ballpoint, but let me open it up and see. They won't spell it out. I mean, I know there's like a code. They use a code for the needles. And where's my sharp? Hold on. Let me get the sharp. Let me see if I can tell you guys the difference. All right, and look what I got. All right. Okay. Yeah, I think it goes by code, guys, because I don't see anything. These are Swartz needles. All right, so when I went to the sewing and quilt show last year, one of the things that they did was they always give out this little pocket guide on the needles. Okay, so in here, this is for the Swartz. They actually tell you how to read their packaging, okay? Because that's the thing with they don't spell out anything. Everything is like with a code, okay? And organ needles are kind of the same thing. My guess is that the B in here is for ballpoint. I can't find my sharp, but I know the sharp I have used the metrics. This one, these are the sharp that I use, okay? But it's not organ, it's this brand, okay? And as a matter of fact, let's look up in here, and I want to see if they actually have something here that says. And you know what's so funny too? I ain't gonna lie to you guys. I mean, they make this stuff so complicated. It's like, whoo, you got it's like learning a whole other language, okay? Because let's look at this book together, okay? And I'm not saying anything bad about the manufacturer. It's just, I'm just kind of like, this. Look at how thick, okay? Just about needles, thick. So let's go over this together, okay? So here's the table of content, okay? And this is the thing too, that here it talks about how to read the needle pack, okay? And it talks about the needle tip, okay? The needle, what is that? Needle size, okay? That's the needle size, the needle type, all this good stuff, okay? I mean, it's like, okay, so, but then look at this. This is the thing that kind of cracks me up a little bit. Here they have the needle points, right? So here they talk about the different needle points where, they have the different rounds, right? So here's like a medium ball. This is a ball. This is a slightly rounded over here. Then here is slim, slightly rounded, slim acute, a special point, twist point. It's like, But then what's so funny is when you look at the bottom over here, it kind of tells you, like, here's quilting, okay? It tells you universal. Look at that, embroidery. I mean, it kind of tells you what you would kind of use it for, all right? So, but it's like, so now let's complicate things a little bit more, though, because now we have needle anatomy, okay? So then here, there's like a color code for the needle, right? So it's like, this kind of like tells you the color code. And then here's more of the needle anatomy. It has the butt, the shank, the shoulder, the type, the size, the blade, the groove, the scarf, the eye, the point, and the tip. So it's like, okay, so okay. Then you got the color coding of the needle, okay, and this is this brand, okay. So it's got the color coding, and the color coding right here, it has like yellow is stretch, jersey's orange, jeans is blue, leather's brown, the matrix is purple. Yep, it's purple. Quilting is green, embroidery is red, metallic is like fuchsia pink, top notch is light green, overlock is black. So it has all these color codings, and then here's the size, okay? So it's like, okay, and it talks about the color coding, the changing of the needle. And then here, I guess it gives a little more in depth on each of the needles, okay? Like what's black. And which, if you really think about it, now that I'm going through this book page by page, it kind of makes it a little bit, because look, like right here, it talks about Swartz needle. And then here it's talking about, these sizes and how the embroidery. And then if you look on here, it kind of tells you, used with rayon, polyester, and other specialty embroidery threads. So it kind of gives you an idea of what to do. Needles can be a pretty tricky thing, I will tell you. Then look at that. We got, oh, wow. Okay, so we got gold embroidery needles. which I'm assuming that these are needles that last longer, okay? Because I know that there's regular needles and then there's like titanium needle. I know I'm saying I jacked up that word, okay? But and they're supposed to last longer. They're a little more expensive, but they're supposed to last longer and stuff like that. So, it's the gold one, and this is medium ballpoint. Okay, because remember I told you guys about the fiber. So I would, I think, to me, Marlene, I think the best thing to do is what I told Mary earlier about, she's like, do you have a chart with all the different size needles and what threads and stuff like that? Well, Mary, Marlene, I tell you, it's like you have your own little mini Bible. Okay, so just like this company, they gave out these books at the Sewing and Quilt Show, just like how this company has like their little mini book on all about their needles and what's the best needle to use when and all that kind of stuff. It's I'm sure that this company that I use, which is the organ needles, if you go to their website, I'm sure that they're going to have something similar to this, a chart or something on their site to talk about the different needles, the sizes, and everything, and their anatomy and all that stuff, and when you're supposed to use what. You know what I mean? So yeah. But I know that I usually stick to the really two sizes when it comes to embroidery, which is the 7511 and the 65-9. I don't do a lot of embroidery on certain hard stuff. I'm mostly clothing, because I work with a lot of business owners. So a lot of them, what they want is they just want the polo shirts, the jackets, and all that stuff. Those are mostly stretchy. And I always use the ballpoint, and those have always been working for me. So, yeah. So I hope I answered that one. Let's see. Girl Scout patches now come with some iron-on stuff now, and they fall off. My two granddaughters bring me their patches and their vests every couple of weeks. That's probably why usually what happens is I know that there is an adhesive that's really, really good for patches, right? That is supposed to glue on and stay on. They're probably using Marcia, probably something like Heat and Bond or something like that, or they're probably doing Heat and Bond Light. But to me, I feel like patches, not only should you use the adhesive, but if possible, you should also sew them down as well, because that will make sure that it stays. So that's what I'm planning on doing with these hats. I plan on sewing all of the patches around the hats and stuff like that. So I'm not surprised if they fall off, and the thing is, you got to think about it. Adhesive, after a while, it may, fall off and everything like that after all the washes and the wearing and all that kind of stuff. So that's why, to me, I always feel like when it comes to patches and clothing, you should really just sew them on, because that way you know for sure that they're to stay and stuff. Hey, Ozzy, how are you? How you doing? Let's see. What type of fabric are you using? I may have missed it. I'm using twill. I'm using the twill. That's usually what people use for the patches. Oh, yeah, they do send me the BE files, Bob. They do send me that. Hey, Bernita Clark, how are you? Why not embroider directly on the hat? You can do that. The reason why I'm choosing not to do that, Bernita, is because of time. Embroidering hats on an embroidery machine is more time consuming. The hats, the hoops are very different. And I just don't want to go through all the rehooping of a hat. Because these patches are so small, and because I saw that the sample that the customer gave me the embroiderer before did not embroider the patch, because if they did embroider embroider this on the hat, okay, you would see the back of the embroidery right here. And honestly, putting these things, I mean, I could do it if I wanted to. You could, but the thing is, I'm going to spend the whole freaking day. It's 11 hats. So I am going to be, it's just too much. I don't want to do it. It's easier. It really is easier for me just to create the patches, put the heat and bond, iron it, and then just sew it. It really is a lot easier and stuff like that. But if you want to, you can do that. The other thing too, though, Barita, that went through my mind is, even though I can replace these hats because I can get these hats from the wholesaler that's right by me, I want to make sure I don't damage any of the hats, okay? Because these are his hats. So by me creating the patch, okay, and just having to iron it on, I feel that it's going to be safer for me and not have a mishap with any of his clothing and stuff like that. Because I know I can replace this, but I really don't have the time, and I really want to get this order out. So when I saw that the previous embroiderer, all he did was just create the patches and sew them on, I'm like, hey, keep it simple. Keep it simple, you know? But you can if you want to. But that's why. Okay, what is a hot knife? A hot knife is this, Sandy. It's one of these. It's a hot. It's just a knife that gets really, really super hot. Mine is a little dirty. I should clean this. I should clean it. And what I do with this is, first of all, these are really, they get super hot. So every time I use this, one of the things that I do is I always lock myself in the bathroom because I don't want the dog around me at all. What you do is, and I got to grab one of those patches that I threw out. Okay. Is you take this, right? And it gets like super hot. And then what you do is you just gently go like this and go around the patch. Now, what this does, it actually seals the stitches. So that way you're not going to have any of the fraying. Okay. So I usually take this and then I just go like this, and you don't leave it for a long time. Okay. Because you don't burn, but you're just going like this real quick. So that way you're kind of like melting the edging of the patch so that it looks nice and round and you don't have anything sticking out. So this is called a hot knife. You can get these off of Amazon. They're pretty inexpensive. They're not, they're not pricey or anything like that. You could probably get one for like 10 or 12 bucks, something like that. But yeah, that's what a hot knife is. So after I'm done with all the patches, I'll be cutting them out. And then when I cut them out, then I just run the hot knife on the side. Well, no, I put the heat and bond, then I put the hot knife on the side. Yeah, that hour went so fast. It did. You're great, Jeanette. I love when you teach. Thank you. Hey, Christina. Oh, hi, Christy. How you doing? Let's see. Want me to send you some of my patches so you can see and feel it? I would love that. Oh my God, I would love that. Yes. yes, Bob, I would. Hey Margie, how you doing? Hey Francina. I love the way you explain. Oh, thank you. Miss Jeanette, hope you and yours are doing okay. Oh, thanks. Bernardino. Let's see. Hey, Leslie, I'm lurking here tonight, and I'm absolutely have Robin. Congratulations, your 40 years milestone anniversary. Oh yeah, 40 years, long time. I like to know if you can delete the memory on your machine that you have so that you can sell it. I lie about having less sticks hours than the machine has. I don't know Franskita, I have never done that. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I buy an embroidery machine, it is family. It's here to stay. And I got a feeling that when I pass, my niece will be the one to inherit all my embroidery machines, and hopefully she's into embroidery. She can keep the business going. But I've never deleted the memory off the machine or anything like that. One of the things that you could do is you can go to a sewing shop by you and stuff, or maybe talk to the manufacturer and the support team, and maybe they'll be able to tell you how to do that and stuff. But I personally have never done that. I tried to go to the expo and I have trouble finding parts out. Oh, Hobby Lobby has twill, not just many colors. It's like $6 a yard on sale. Well, thank you for letting me know, because I am running out of twill. And you know what? And $6 is cheaper than when I actually get it from Satchel. So I did not know that Hobby Lobby has it, and $6 a yard is pretty good. So I guess I'll be hanging out there tomorrow. I'm gonna be going over there because I need to. Are you saying yes? That's what I meant. Yes, but Sandy, don't go there. I mean, they're good, but don't go there. I would say do what Bob is saying, Hobby Lobby, because the thing is they cost more. So go to Hobby Lobby, because $6 a yard is a very, very good price, because I paid a whole lot more. So definitely go there. Hey Joyce, how you doing? Let's see. Oh, the spacing is because underlay isn't good and base layer density is too low by stretching. I'm talking about the white hairs that come off the edges. I'll link you the Madeira plastic on Facebook. Thank you. Let's see. Jeanette, that's what I use it for a year. It works. It just stretches a lot. Not reliable. Yeah, it's not. It's not reliable. I think I'm just gonna have to take that plastic and use it for painting, if I ever paint. Let's see. Thank you. Love your embroidery group. I ordered another Mighty Hoop today. Used your code free shipping. Oh, thank you, Beth. I appreciate that. Using it for grandkids for the t-shirts. I do love my Mighty Hoops. I really do. I think they're a really good investment. They're expensive. Oh my God, but they are really, really good. I love that you don't tell people what types of machines to buy, but show how you use your machine sometimes. I feel like they are selling you anything for a lot of money. Yeah, McFay, you just have to, the way I see it, honestly, is when you're buying an embroidery machine, it's like I said before, it's like buying a car, right? And you really have to do your homework, because this is a thing. And I see this happen a lot. I see that people will buy a machine just because they saw someone else use it. And of course, the person that's using it is going to say it's great because they like the machine. It's a machine, and sometimes what happens too is that people are affiliates of those machines, right? They make commission out of all the machines that they sell. So of course, they're going to sell you everything under the sun. They're going to say, oh, this machine's great. It does this. We should get it, whatever. And it works for them. But then what will happen is if you go and you get it and, you really didn't do your homework, it may not work for you. And you spend a lot of money. These machines cost, you're talking about $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. They're very, very expensive. They are not cheap at all, which is why I always tell people machine, it's not, this is not something for people that, are low in the pocket. It can be very pricey. And then a lot of times people think, oh, you can just buy a small machine. Well, you can, but the thing is, you got to remember, it's like I said before, it depends on what it is that you want to do. If you're just using it as a hobby and all you want to do is just make stuff for the grandkids or just make little simple projects and stuff like that, you don't have to go and you don't have to spend money for the big boys. And like I told you, I have a girlfriend that all she does is baby onesies. That's all she does. That's all she loves doing. She has a flatbed machine. She was using a 4x4 hoop for the longest. She literally just went up to a 5x7. She has absolutely no interest in getting a machine with a bigger hoop. She doesn't need the multi-needle machines. She loves doing her applique on her flatbed machine. Very economical, and it works for her. So it just depends on what it is that is going to be your niche and what you like doing. That is going to determine the route that you should go. And, guys, one of the things that I always say is you have to do you, always do you. I mean, I think it's great that you see a lot of people doing different things and all that kind of stuff. But you got to remember, one of the things that I've always told, my son is, just because someone made a decision for themselves, that doesn't mean that it's the right decision for you, right? We all have our own different paths in lives, right? If someone wants to strive to be that's fine, because that's what they want to do. But maybe someone else wants to be B, or somebody wants to be a C, or someone wants to be a D or E or F, whatever it is, right? So it's like, at the end of the day, it's like this, you got to make the decisions that's right for you. So it's just like when you're going and you buy a car, right? There's so many decisions you got to make. What brand do you want, right? What make do you want? What color do you want? Do you want the seats to be leather? Do you want the seats to be cloth? It's a personal decision. So, and it's all going to really come down to what your needs are and what your wants are. So that's why I don't, I know a lot of people, they will come to me and they'll be like, hey, should I get this? Should I get that? And stuff. And, and I know that I just don't want to do that. I don't want to tell people this is what you should do. It's not something that I want to do at all, because it's not the right thing to do. I would prefer you guys make an informed decision for you. That's, to me, is more valuable, because I see people buy these machines, spend a lot of money, then all of a sudden they don't understand how they work, and next thing you know, you see them on Facebook. Almost brand new, and they want to get rid of them because they don't know how it works. So, that's why, to me, I prefer to just tell people what to think about, what to ask, so that you get all the information that you need, so that at the end of the day, you can do your comparisons. And, when you get that machine home, you did your homework, and you're going to feel comfortable. You're going to be like, this is the machine for me. This is the machine that I understand. This is the machine that's going to help me meet my needs. This is the machine I'm going to grow with. This is the machine that I'm going to love, that I'm going to enjoy working with. You don't want to get a machine and all of a sudden you're like, I don't understand it, and this and that. And then you get depressed because you spent thousands of dollars, and then now you're getting rid of it. So it's important that people understand that it's not the brand. It's what works for you and stuff. So, I know sometimes people do get a little frustrated with me because they want me to say a name, right? I know what I use, but the thing is, I don't want to push it, for not because it's not a good brand. It's a good brand for me. That's why it's a good brand for me. But brothers may not work for you. You may have another need. You might want 15 needles. Brothers don't do 15 needles. Brother only goes up to 10. For me, 10 is sufficient. I don't really need 15 needles or 20 needles and stuff like that. I'm okay with what these machines can do. For what I'm doing to run my business, it works great. And I love the functionalities. It helps me with my orders. But I don't know what your needs are going to be. So that's why, that's why I say, I don't like to push, but yeah. Hey Rita, how you doing? How are you doing? Hey Tammy, how are you? Let's see. This is how I found In-Brilliance. This is how I found In-Brilliance was a great choice for me by watching you. Oh, I tried the trial and loved it. And it's the best for me. And I also love programming. You got to find, yeah. And you know also, In-Brilliance has that free version. And I'm sure that if you look at it, if you don't like In-Brilliance, if any of you guys don't like In-Brilliance, or if you're just not sure, see if the other embroidery software out there offer a free version as well. I'm sure they do. And if they do, take advantage of that. See, use it, play around with it, see if it's something that's going to work for you, before you actually go and buy it and stuff. Isn't it a software that done? I don't know if it is. Color sort. Oh, thank you. Color sort is in essentials. Thank you. I have all the modules. Sometimes I forget what comes with what module and stuff. Hey Nana, how you doing? Oh, thank you. Yes, if you guys like today's topic and like the information that I shared with you guys tonight, please give me a thumbs up. That really, really does help the channel a lot. Trying to get to that 20,000 subscribers and stuff. So, I'm getting there slowly, but I really, I could really appreciate that. It would really help. Let's see. Don't use $10. Don't use 10 needle machines. Use a different type of needle for flatbed versus I actually, Marsha, I do use the same needles that I have on my multi-needle machines. I do use on my flatbed, but they're all brother. Okay, so I know that some embroidery machines don't have, uses different types of needles. So sometimes it may be different for a flatbed, okay? Because remember, it depends on the brand, and it also depends on the type of needle that machines uses. Some of them have the ones that are fully rounded, and then you have those that have the flat back, okay? The ones that I use, the brother has the flat back, okay? So let's see. It said, I believe they use BP for ballpoint and the RG for sharp. Yeah, I have to look it up. I'll just see. Let's see. And Rita says, my Racoma 10 needles uses the round needle. Yep, not a flat on the back. Yes. And so, yeah, that's why it just depends. How do we get the book that you have? Nana, what I did, the way I got this book was I went to that Sewing and Quilt Expo that was over there in Fredericksburg. And every time you go over there and you sit in one of the classrooms, it's like this is something they just give out to everybody. So that's how I actually got this. I'm sure that if you go to their website that the information is out there too. So yeah. Sure. And those needles are actually too little to see if they have a ballpoint or a sharp. Yeah, they are kind of hard to see. I use organ needles, and the back of the package says BPP. They're titanium and they are gold. I have been wanting Eartha to use those needles. Okay. I know they're pricier, but from what I heard, they're much better and they last a lot longer. So, but I have so many of these needles that, but I do want to at least buy one pack because I want to see how that works and stuff. But I heard that they're really, really good. Let's see. I went in Washington, took a ton of classes to see what brands worked, talked to the dealers at the show, and called the dealer. So what needle size for twill did you use? The needle size will depend on the design of the embroidery. That will determine the needle size that you use, okay? Example of that would be if you have, with twill, it doesn't matter if you're using ballpoint or the type of needle is sharp or ballpoint, okay? It doesn't really matter. But the size of the needle will depend on the design of your embroidery, okay? If you have certain things in your embroidery that are detailed, you're going to want to use 60 weight thread with a 65/9 needle. And if it's just regular embroidery, then it would be a 40 weight thread with a 7511 size needle. Okay. Thank you, Jeanette. I do use the printout from the Google with fabric and the type of needle. Yeah, I mean, this is actually a really good document. It really does. It really helps you. The closest to my home, and they match the price. Unfortunately, dealer has new owners, and I'm not sure they'll survive. I started about 12 years ago. Oh my goodness. I use a zigzag stitch and sew them on. Oh, you can do that too. Yeah. I'm going to use a straight stitch though, because I think a zigzag might change the way it looks. So I'm going to stick with the straight. Oh, I can't talk, guys. I love that you're doing patches for the cap. Just got a multi needle. It's a pain to change. See, that's why. That's why. Yes, it is. It's a pain to change out the cap driver from the hat hoops and hoop the caps and the needles to be changed in the shop. It is. Yes, it is. That's why when I saw that the customer gave me the sample hat and it's just a patch on the cap, I can do that. That's so much easier. Just embroider all the patches, heat them on, and sew them on. Oh my God, so much easier. Yes. Hey Jenny, sharing. I have good evening. Gotta go to bed. Have a good night, and get up early in the morning and get ready for a garage sale. And I have to get up early tomorrow, and I gotta finish this. What was I gonna say? This order. Have you seen them take a lighter? Yes. Wonder if I would use a hot knife instead. I don't trust myself with light. I actually got a torch. And I think I'm gonna try that a little bit. I'm gonna try the torch tomorrow. Instead of the hot knife, and we'll see how that goes. I'll videotape it and stuff. Liliana started using a torch and it kind of worked really well and stuff. So I think I'm gonna start doing that myself. Yeah. But I am a little afraid of fire. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a little chicken. That's probably why I like the hot knife, because I feel like I have more control. Okay, guys. Well, I am going to call it a night. Let's see. I think I got most of your questions. Christina, thanks. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, guys. I know that there's some more little comments in there and stuff, but oh my God, a torch. Yes, a torch. There's the little torches and stuff. Marsha, I will put it in the video so that you guys can see it. From what I can see, it's a lot easier than using a hot knife, but we're going to see tomorrow. Okay. So guys, I am going to call it the night, because as you can see, I got a lot of work to do. I want to finish on these patches. And then also I want to get them ready. So that way tomorrow when I get up in the morning, I can just run these two machines, get those 21 shirts done, and then get these 11 hats done as well, because I want to be able to just relax on Sunday and just take that day for me, and just be, selfish and just be able to just relax and hang out with Mello and, and just do me, because then next week I got to go back to work. Okay. So anyway, guys, I hope you had a good time with me tonight, and I hope you liked the information that I shared with you guys. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. And you guys have a great weekend and a great week, and I will see you guys next Friday. So you guys have a good one. Take care, and thanks so much for your support. Bye. Have a good night. Bye.